In today's video, we're going to do part 3 of my semi-off-grid series. This time, we're going to talk about food. Stay tuned. I'm sitting here in my kitchen because I'm going to take you through a really brief walkthrough of my pantry today, just kind of to show you the kind of things that I do here on the homestead that I have been learning over time. I've been doing this for well over 15 years. But I have adapted new things to my life as well. So I will share those with you today to have make my life much easier when it comes to homemade cooking. Some notes here on my computer for some things I want to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about and make sure that I don't forget is that in the past, I've talked about how much of a shopper I am and how much that I like to shop. One thing is for sure, I'm not like a shopper where I buy like tons of handbags and tons of shoes or clothes or anything like that. I don't even have a pair of $500 shoes like some people do. But I do have a Vitamix. I do have a KitchenAid. I do have equipment that helps me to make my own foods and make it a lot easier for me to do this lifestyle of making my own. Over the years, I have invested in a lot of equipment that is well made, and I still have it today because that's what I do. And I knew that in order to do this lifestyle and still be a busy woman that's working, I had a child at the time, so I was also busy. I was taking care of my uncle. I was a caretaker. In order for me to be able to do this stuff, I needed to have equipment to help me. So the KitchenAid was one that helps me do a lot of things. I have a bread maker, so many things that have helped me over the years. And these were investments that I made way before everything got overpriced. Like for instance, I have a solar oven. I think I paid like $199 for it when I had the American Sun oven. Now they're like $500. I bought my dehydrator. I think I paid $200 for it. Now they're way over that. And I bought my KitchenAid for, it was like $100 and something, and now they cost way more. The Vitamixes cost more. Everything goes up. I also bought the pasta makers accessories that go with my KitchenAid. Also, these things now, they're worth so much more money. They cost so much more. So I'm glad that I took the time to invest into this kind of equipment that is still with me today. A lot of the stuff, when I moved, I brought it with me because I know the value that it has. And recently, I've added to those purchases where I have purchased a rocket stove, a small little rocket stove, and a big rocket stove. Those things, you will see them in my summer kitchen as I decide to make a kitchen outdoors for the property. So just so you know, if you want this lifestyle of cooking for yourself and being self-sustainable, self-reliant, get equipment, put your money into equipment that's going to last you a long time, and you can make healthy meals with appliances. I don't buy tomato soup. I haven't bought tomato soup in years. I mean, my tomato soup is so much better than the one that's canned. Vitamix does everything for me, and it cooks it in there too. In like 6 minutes, I have fresh tomato soup. This is why it's important for me to invest money into things that are going to help me make my own products. One of the reasons that I'm shopping now, and I've been shopping for the past year, is to get myself sustainable so that I don't have to shop in the future for stuff. So over the years, I have put that money into not having to be reliant on the store. So that's the reason that I shop, and I've been shopping. Like the same thing with the rocket stove. When I purchased my rocket stove in 2022, at the end of 2022, I thought to myself, do I really need this? Yes, I need it. Number one, because of power outages. Number two, it's also going to lower my electricity bill if I can cook outside. So I see it as an investment. And that is a way for me to be able to control my life and control the way that the budgets that I set for myself. So if I don't want to spend a lot of money on electricity during the months that my AC is used all the time, I can go outside and I can cook. And I invested that money into the rocket stove so that I can cook outside with sticks. The sticks are all over. I'm always pruning branches and trees here, so I have lots of sticks that I can cook with. You can shop in order for you to be self-reliant in the future, so you don't have to shop anymore. So shop to not shop. That's the way that I see it. Shop to not shop. And that's what I've been doing over the years, is buying things so that I don't have to be reliant on the store. Other things that I'm doing now is, right now, as you know, I'm on my homestead. I'm building this place up. And this has been like a home on 3 acres. So now it's actually a homestead, which I just love. This is the reason that I came here. I mean, I went into RVing because I was looking for a property where I can do homesteading in. And I looked at lots of property, I looked at 20 acres, and I just realized that was too much for me. And I had to settle on the 3 acres, and I'm really loving being here. It's all wide open. I have wonderful space. And now it's really filling my soul being here. I feel like so much of a homemaker, and I feel like so like cozy here because I don't really have to go out. I'm with the basics that I can make so much food. I can can food, I can freeze food, and I'm just loving being here, able to get my eggs. Here's my basket with eggs. I get eggs every single day. I still have one chicken is laying. The other 2 are not laying yet. But in the future, that won't be a problem because even if I have excess eggs, I can give them to my dog and my cat. I can be a nice neighbor and give them to my neighbor. We can exchange some of the foods that we make to give to other people in the area. For me, growing my own food has been wonderful because I've been able to lower my budget. I don't have to buy eggs anymore, and they're super expensive now. And I also, a lot of my produce is coming from the garden, and that's how, and I'm fermenting it. So if I have like a big cauliflower, well, I'm waiting for the cauliflower, but when I get my big cauliflower, hopefully I will be able to ferment it and have it go for a couple of months so that I'm able to enjoy it from my refrigerator because it's fermented. And that's another thing that I've been doing is learning how to ferment, learning how to can foods so that I can make my harvest go longer. And that way I don't have to go to the store as often. And when I don't go to the store, not only do I save on food, but I also save on gasoline because I'm not going out as far. Because when you live in the country, you usually have to take a drive to get out to like a Walmart or some kind of a shopping center to buy food. And it could be 6, 7, 8, 10 miles, 10 miles there, 10 miles back. That's 20 miles. So you definitely don't want to be going out all the time just for a couple of things. So that's why now, like, I have milk as an emergency canned. I can my own milk, and I have orange juice canned as well. And lots of things that I'm learning to can because that way, if I run out of something, I don't have to run to the store. I can rely on that until the next time that I go out. Me growing my own stuff is directly with me. I don't have a middleman. I don't have a store. I don't have overhead. So I love it. I love being able to go outside and learn and see and connect with nature at the same time because I am growing my own product. The healthiest product that you can eat is the one that just comes right out of the ground, especially if you've been really faithful at putting in compost and nutrients and good things into the soil. You know that the soil is good. It might not be organic by organic standards, but I know what's in there. I know that I haven't put anything in the garden, and I know that I'm getting the best that I can in nutrition because the earth is giving back to me something that's wonderful. And the other thing that I love about gardening as well is I'm able to grow things that are not varieties that are in the store. Like the store is made for profit and they only grow certain tomatoes, plum tomatoes, certain tomatoes, but I'm able to try different things. I'm able to try purple potatoes, and I'm able to try lots of different various things that are out there so that I can reap nutrients in my food that might always come from the same thing, but there might be certain varieties that have different types of nutrients that will also benefit me in the future as well for my health. One thing that I'm going to be doing this year as I implement more and more and more self-sustainability in my food is I will be going to some places around here where they sell me raw milk, where they sell me meat, like a butcher store, and chicken, where they sell you like big packs and you buy them like that and they come wrapped in butcher paper. I'm really looking into stuff like that because I want to be able to put more dollars into the local community than I do into the big box stores. There's always stuff that I need to get from the big box stores, like, you know, maple syrup and honey and sugar, you know, cat food, dog food. I still need to get those general things that I'm not going to be reliant in having for myself. So there's always going to be a need for me to go to the store at some point and buy coffee, buy sugar, buy flour. I don't grow my own wheat berries for making bread. So I do have to go buy flour or buy the wheat berries so that I can grind them. I grind them in my Vitamix as well. My Vitamix is great at grinding because I have the grinding canister. Those are things that, additional things that I'm going to be doing is incorporating this year is where can I go to get, you know, local honey? Even though I buy the honey from Costco or Sam's Club, that's great when I make tea or I'm drinking something. But when I want to make a medicinal with honey, I really want the local honey, fresh, local, raw honey from my area. And that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about that I'm going to be looking for this year. So those videos will be coming as I take on this new journey of looking for food in my area and learning about my community and making friends within the community who are also homesteaders as well and have small hobby farms. Another thing that I've been really interested in is making lard and tallow, which are some of the things that I have been really interested in making. Also, smoking is another thing that I'm really interested. I don't know if I'll get to it this year because I have to research it, but I don't want to get a big giant smoker, but I have been looking at Amazon. They sell like these small little smokers that you can put inside of your own grill, and I do have a small grill. So that's something that I'm interested in doing, is buying wild caught salmon and making my own like smoked salmon. If I want to have ground chicken, I grind it myself. If I want ground turkey, I grind it myself, because every time that they do something like that for you in the store, they charge you for that. It's already built into the price. But if you have like a KitchenAid grinder, meat grinder like I have, I can do that for myself. I can make my own sausages. I can do lots of things myself. In the future, I know as I get these bulk beef items, I will be better off buying the bigger beef items so that I can grind them instead of letting them give me stuff that has a lot of fat and stuff in it. I've been noticing in the store lately that when I go to look at the ground beef doesn't look red. It looks pink. They're putting so much fat right now in there, and I just don't want that kind of product. And recently I did a video where I had some organic meat that I bought from, I think it was from Sam's Club, and it was mostly all fat because it just shrunk like 2 inches all around. And that's the problem, that a lot of the stuff that they're selling us now is because they need to make a big profit because the prices are rising. So at this time in my life, I'd rather do it myself anyway, because I know that I'm going to get good quality when I process the things myself. I'm planning on doing a medicinal garden this year. I don't know if I'll get a chance to do all of that this year, or maybe I'll just get a chance to do a part of it. I know an area in my 3 acres where I want to grow just medicinal stuff there. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to do that as well this year. And if I don't get to do the whole thing this year, at least pick some place in my garden where I can grow the basics like chamomile. I already have the seeds for that, like chamomile, and nettle is something that all the time that I'm going to the health food store to buy in bulk. Dandelion, I'm also watching for that. It's on my calendar for April because that's around the time that dandelions start coming in, and I want to harvest them and I want to process them into several recipes. So I've got that on my calendar as well. So these are things that you could be doing on your planner, is also writing down the months of the year where you can harvest certain things. So if you have an area where you can harvest blueberries that are wild in your area, put that in your month so that you can go hiking or do something that month that involves going out and looking and foraging for some of these natural fruits and vegetables that grow in your area. One of the things that I had to learn this year was to save seeds, because I had such a great harvest of jalapenos. I had such a great harvest of peppers this year. And my cherry tomatoes were amazing this year. And I just said, I've got to keep these seeds because that's going to save me money in the long run when I'm saving the seeds from my harvest. But you do have to be prepared for that. So I had to be prepared in my house. And I'll show you, when I take you to a tour, I'm going to show you things that I had to make, places that I had to create in my house so that I can do all of that harvesting of seeds and not be something that's overwhelming. It's just kind of like, okay, I cut the peppers, I put it to the side, the seeds, and this is where I put them because they're going to dry. And in a few days, I come back and I get them and I store them. That kind of thing where it's just like, you got the place for it, you know what you're doing, and it's all going to work out and you don't have to stress over it. Because in the beginning, I was stressed. I was like, I got this and I got, where do I put this? Where do I do that? And it's all working out great. Abundance in the garden is a great thing to have, but you also have to know how to process it. So that's why I said fermenting and canning are great things to learn. Have yourself a recipe book where you just have recipes for those things. And that's another thing that I did. I made a whole big giant recipe book with recipes for canning and recipes for fermenting, recipes for dehydrating as well. So this cookbook that I have, I did it with a Happy Planner. I've been spending a lot of time in that, and all of my favorite recipes are in there. And whenever I know I want to can or do something, I can go into that book and find the recipes very easily. This was the Happy Planner notes that I found on sale. I think it was like $3. Look at how this is laminated. And I made a recipe book out of this. I went to the library and got tons of books on like canning and stuff like that. And I wrote down those recipes that I really liked. And they're in here. So whenever I need to can something, all the recipes are in here. And I keep it here in my kitchen because it's easy just for me to flip through and say, I'm going to do this today, and it's over here. Sorry about the light. If you're going to get into canning, dehydrating, and doing a whole bunch of things, you're going to want to do that. Now, solar oven, I don't have a lot of recipes for that. So the next few weeks, I will be putting some recipes in there for solar oven because the American solar oven does have some great recipes online. And it's been a while. I don't think I've ever used my solar oven when I bought it. So I have to get some recipes for that, even though I have a couple of them written down, but definitely going to be doing that this year, is writing that down. I don't do well with digital cookbooks. I do have digital cookbooks, but usually at some point when I really like the recipe, I will write it down and put it in my physical cookbooks that are in my kitchen, because those are the tried and true recipes that I like, and I like to have the book in front of me. As far as canning is concerned, I bought an electric canner because I also have solar in my RV, and I know that I can go outside on a sunny day, and if something was wrong in the world, I can go out there and can. But that's only when I can. Most of the time it's just meat, maybe potatoes, carrots. You can still water bath meat, carrots, and potatoes. The only problem is you got to water bath for 3 hours at a rolling boil. This is what the Amish do. The Amish do not have electronic canners. Most of them don't. They just rolling boil for 3 hours to get it to seal properly. And I just wanted you to know that if you don't have a canner, you can do the same thing. It does use a lot of propane if you're using propane, and it does use a lot of electricity if you're using electricity. That's why I ended up getting the pressure canner, because it cooks faster. But if I had to, I have the rocket stove. So I know that I can go outside and I can can things on an open flame for 3 hours and I'll be good. If you're a hunter or a fisherman, having a vacuum sealer is a great product to own, because this way you can process your meat and you process your fish, and you can freeze it in your freezer, and you'll have it for a very long time if you keep it well packed with a vacuum sealer bag. I like to shop my local health food store for those items that are in bulk, that are on sale. So every month there's a flyer from my local health food store, and they have a bulk section there where you can buy by the pound. I don't pay for things when they're regular price. I usually am watching the flyer, because let's say if oats go on sale, organic oats, I will buy them. I pay less for organic oats than I do at Walmart, and I buy them when they're on sale. Sometimes they'll have the millet on sale. Sometimes they'll have wheat berries on sale. And those are the months that I stock up on those items, because I'm watching the flyers. And even here, flyers that I get for other stores, I'm always watching the flyers, and I put it on my phone for that particular store that I am going to go to, so that I can shop those stores and buy the things that are on sale. And that's what you got to be doing nowadays. But with that said, I'm also going to tell you that when I do my shopping, I do always plan other errands with the trip as well. So let's say I have a book I have to pick up at the library. I will go to the library also. By the way, my library is awesome because they give us free seeds. They're just little packets of seeds. They have like a community outreach there for seeds. And I go there and I get free seeds all the time for different things. So I'll plan other things. I'll plan my recycling. I'll plan my trash I always take with me as well. And whatever I need to do, I always try to plan my day. So I consider it, I block the day as an errand day. That day, I'm going to be taking a shower in the morning. I'm going to be trying to look nice. And then I'm going to, get things settled here so that I can be out most of the day running all of my errands. And that way I have one day where I run all my errands, get everything done. I come back, then I got to put everything away, sort it, either separate it, pack it up, whatever it is. And then it's a day of processing stuff when I come back as well. So that's also another thing you want to consider if you are living rurally in the country like I do, where you have to take one day to go out. Remember, when you come back, you got to process all that stuff as well. Just like when you go hunting or you go fishing, remember, you got to come back and you got to process all that stuff as well. So you want to leave some time there so that you can do all of that stuff and make the best of your food, because you want your food to be as fresh as possible when you're doing this. With that said, I'm going to take you on a tour right now of my pantry. I'm going to start you off with my laundry room, because to me, my laundry is an extension of my kitchen. Where everything is nice and neat and organized here, my laundry is a workhorse all the time for me. So let's go there. So it's right here off the kitchen. This is the door that you've been seeing here. And in this room, I have buckets of food, usually grains, flours, things like that. I have my freezer over here. And I have some whatever plants that I was given. My neighbor gave me these so I could harvest for tea. And I got some pine cones. Well, I have a place here where I hang napkins, bags that I washed. I have a little oven here. I have apple cider vinegar that I'm making right now. I still have a couple of weeks left on that. I have a whole bunch of oils. Like I'll have something like dandelion, and I'll have olive leaf, and I'll have like neem oil. I also have some oregano oil here that I use when I make my toothpaste. And this is my prepping notebook with lots of things that I would do in case of an emergency on the property. So I have that notebook there so I can grab it if there's a power outage. I have a place here that I had to add this year was for my chicken treats. And I had to buy them some oyster shells as well. I wasn't going to buy that, but I had to do it. So this is for that. This is for some seeds that I'm planting. And this is how I store my seeds, is in these little pill bottles that used to be from my uncle. My uncle used to get a lot of medication, so I saved the bottles so that I can harvest my seeds. Now, this is one way that when I have a lot of seeds, I will take out, this is a tray from my dehydrator, and I will put them here. These are my pepper seeds, and I have to put them away today or tomorrow. This is how I'm storing when I have lots and lots of seeds. I just put the tray here and let them dry on their own. This is where I keep my planting notebook, and then this is where I keep all of my seeds are in here. I already did a video on that. So I have my washer and dryer here, which you can see my dryer is disconnected because I hang my laundry, and my washer is disconnected because I'm not washing at this moment. So the only thing that I have here connected is for my vacuum cleaner. I have a little vacuum cleaner that's plugged in. But this is my bread and baker. This is where I keep my potato. Missy eats up here because I don't want her eating in the kitchen. And then I have like manuals for kitchen stuff and cookbooks. I keep my garlic here. And I have lots of old cookbooks that I have to go through eventually. This is one area that I've dedicated to 2023 to clean up. This is one area here that I had to add this year. This is my new fermenting and canning cabinet. This cabinet was here, but I had to reorganize things. So all of my canning stuff and fermenting stuff, like I have this, the mason tops, the fermenting kit, I keep it here. I have all my lid stuff here, the stuff that I use to cut potatoes and stuff, bowls that I have for fermenting. All of that is in there. So this I had to implement this year. And then up here, I also have dehydrated foods that I have dehydrated. And there's stuff in the back, and then more stuff up there. Basic things that I just need. As you can see, these are just like yellow cornmeal, yeast, flour, things like that are basics. Now, here's an inventory of what's in my freezer. And then over here, this is where I keep my basics. This is all I keep. You can see there's no packaged foods here at all. The only thing I might have like some Jell-O and canned stuff. I have some flour, popcorn. I like to buy a lot of popcorn. And this is just like, white rice, brown rice, salt. And then down here, this is where I keep my milk, my coffee, tomato sauce, dried potatoes if I need them, coconut oil, and olive oils. This is where I keep this, so I don't have anything packaged here. And then over here, this cabinet was my appliance cabinet, but I made some room for it. So this is where I have my canner, my popcorn machine, because I make my own popcorn. I do not buy popcorn from the store. I have a small mixer here. I have a Fry Daddy here, a small one. And I have my little George Foreman grill here that I use when I travel. I bring it with me. But this is the area now that I'm using these 3 shelves for canned stuff. But it's getting to be too small, so I have come up with a different plan for canning. And then on the top shelf, I have my Berkey for emergencies. I have a big processor. I know this thing was to make like ice cream out of bananas. And then I have my roaster oven there. Basket over here is where I keep all my KitchenAid appliances. I'll go up there and grab those. And then I also have pasta drying. So if I make the pasta spaghetti, I would hang it on there and let it dry. What you just saw is all of the food that I keep except for this cabinet. And this cabinet, I will show you here. This is my breakfast cabinet. This is why I have my coffee maker. Like, I don't use this coffee maker for coffee. The only thing I use it for is when I want hot water on demand really fast. So I will plug it in and I will get myself some hot water. But that's pretty much all I use it for. And the only things I use this for, this is usually breakfast stuff that I have here. I make my own hot chocolate mix, which I put in here. And this is where I keep my teas and my medicinal teas. And just breakfast stuff like cream of wheat, my grits, my oats are in here as well. some chicken stuff I have in here with the eggshells that I crushed for them. This is chicken food, this is dog food, and this is cat food over here. So I'm in this cabinet a lot to get them their food during the day. Down here in this cabinet, I keep basics like sugar and flour. I keep my pastas in that drawer. And I have elbow macaroni, nutritional yeast, vegetable shortening. That I bought for making candles. Then I have chocolate chips, and I have balsamic vinegar. I have some coconut flour and some other flours in the back, way in the back. I have some coconut sugar, and I have some cranberries that I haven't opened yet. This is just a lot of extra stuff, and I have the sugar in the raw here. And this is just what all of this is. I have some powdered milk back there, some extra. This is extra oats, but the one that's in that canister is not the one from Walmart. I've actually been filling that from the bulk store when it goes on sale. And that's just bags of flour that I have back there that I purchased when I've been on sale. I like to have little areas in my kitchen where it's like I go to this area for that. So this whole area here is considered my breakfast section right here, because I got the teas, the chocolate, everything is there. I keep my flour up here in this jar that says cookies, because they're going to be potential cookies maybe at some point, but I do like to have that there. And then over here, this is my baking section, and it's where the KitchenAid is. So I keep some bowls up here that I might need, and I have my marshmallows, my brown sugar, which by the way, I make my own brown sugar. If you have molasses, you don't have to buy brown sugar, you can make your own. And then I have my cocoa mix, and then I have just a whole bunch of stuff back there that have coconut sugar and some instant coffee so that I can make coffee. And then I have a whole bunch of extracts here, my baking powder, my vanilla, my all of those things are over here. And then the only other place I have food is actually in here, because over by the stove, this is where I keep all of my spices over here. These are my spices. Oh, by the way, this used to be a Christian I taught when he was learning. I was homeschooling him. This has like the pints, the quarts, the kitchen measurements, and I decided to hang it in my kitchen because it's a good reminder. And I did want to show you something as well here. Okay, so this is where I keep some plates and stuff, but if you go to Pinterest, you can find some great things on Pinterest that you can cut out. Like this one is like alternatives to sugar, and it gives you some measurements. Like for 1 cup of sugar, it tells you how much you need of honey for a recipe. So I really love this a lot. There's some others that I have over here. I keep them on the drawer, on the cabinet. It's like, look at this cabinet, see how organized. I do this in my RV as well, because then now I have the sizes already up here hanging. And then that one tells me how to half and third a recipe. So when I have to half and third a recipe, the information is already there for me. So I don't have to go like guessing or anything like that. So I did bake some stuff today. That's why you're not seeing some stuff there. They're in the wash. Okay, I don't use my dishwasher. Let me go to the dishwasher before I forget. My dishwasher, I have never even used it. I don't even know if it works because I've never used it. I'm not a dishwasher type of person. I had a dishwasher in my other house and I was like, ick, I don't like it. So this is where I store all of the jars that I repurpose. These are jars that I bought food in the store and I kept the jars, and I ferment things in here after I put them in the refrigerator. I ferment in there. So that is the place where I store my clean, washed, ready to pull out jars. Like this jar was a regular jar for a giardiniera, but I had a topper from a candle jar that broke, and the topper fit in here. And this is just a beautiful jar that I will use it for something. So that'll probably be a pickle jar or something like that. And then down at the bottom, I just keep some bowls. I keep my pets' bowls in there for their dinner, and I just keep some extra bowls in there that I might need for cooking and stuff like that. Under the sink, your basic cleaning stuff. And that's pretty much it. That's all the food that I have. I keep up here, you know, some Tupperware. And then over here, I just keep my everyday plates and cups and things like that. And then down here on the bottom, this is where I keep, like, you know, my Instant Pot, my smaller one here. And then I keep my cast iron. I have a lot of this cast iron cookware. I keep that down here. My kitchen also has 2 ovens. I have a pizza oven and I have a regular oven. I never hardly ever use the bottom one, only when I think for Thanksgiving. So my kitchen is well organized. I want to make sure that I have spaces for everything. Like near the where I cook is where I keep my spices. Over here where I bake, because the KitchenAid is here, is that. My coffee section is over here because this is where I reach in the morning for pet food, my coffee. All the general stuff that gets done early in the morning is over here. And that's how I organize everything. I'll bring you over to my hallway, Because in Florida, we don't really use like hallway closets. I have a coat rack over here. So if anybody comes here with a coat, they're going to hang it there. So this, somebody put shelves on it. I don't need this because I have another one. I have another one in my hallway. I have one like this, and then there's one in that bathroom, the guest bathroom. There's another. So this one has become, I've purged some linens from here, and I'm going to be reorganizing this because as I grow my canning, my pantry, this is going to be the closet for pantry, for food, and all of this stuff I'm going to be moving this year. I'm planning on doing that, but right now what I'm doing is just storing the empty jars here. Eventually the canning jars, the empty ones, will be back over there where the canning food was, and then this one will have all of the food. That way I can separate it by meat. Be able to add some more shelves here because the shelves are pretty high, so I can get a lot more use out of this. And the refrigerator that's in this house, when I bought this house, that refrigerator came with the house. And this refrigerator is very, very large for one person, even for two. It's just very large, and it consumes a lot of electricity. It also has like this huge ice maker that takes up the entire side that I do. And you take this takes taken up and this taken up. I do not use the ice maker, so that's just a waste. So I thought, okay, someday when this fridge goes, I'm just get a regular refrigerator because now I can. And I have my freezer, so I don't really need such a big giant refrigerator because I know how to manage my food, and I don't need to have such a big one. As a matter of fact, a lot of things that are here, I'm actually trying to use up. Like a lot of these seeds that I have here, these are like pumpkin seeds, hazelnut seeds, pistachio seeds that, you know, are bought when Christian was here. They're old, but the chickens are eating them, but they don't taste that great, but the chickens are eating them. And you know, it's just really big for nothing. But I mean, I don't want to sell it because it's going to cost me, it's going to be a lot of trouble now to sell it, but it is connected to the water source over there. But I don't use the filter system here at all because I use a Brita system, because this filter that you used for this, I think it was like, when I got here, I think I bought one, it was like $40, and within like a month or two, it was already like telling me that I need to change the filter. And I'm like, what? I can't be doing this every month. This is crazy. And my water is clean. I had my water tested here. So the only thing is I do pass it through the Brita because it does a good job of cleaning it up. But my water, you can taste it. It tastes really good, and there's no problem with it at all. As far as my microwave is concerned, I don't even use my microwave. It's not even plugged in now. I mean, I could plug it in if I want to. If somebody came over, they could use it. What I do is I keep my egg cooker in there, the one that I bought recently that cooks the eggs with 300 watts, 350 watts. And I don't need a microwave because I have a microwave in my RV. When I travel, yes, it's very convenient sometimes when I'm stressed out, when I'm tired, when there's a problem and I need to heat something up. I have the microwave because I have a generator and I can run that. So yes, or somebody comes to visit and they have food and they want me to warm it up, I have a microwave. So yes, I have a microwave, and they're a small one. So I'm probably going to be getting rid of this one and selling it used, even though it's kind of all banged up. But what I want to do is I want to put a shelf there so I can start to put in jars my teas, the teas that I want to make from medicinal herbs that I'm going to grow there. So I'm not sure if I'm going to get to that this year, or it will be more like next year. So we will see if I will get that done. So I hope you enjoyed this little sneak peek into my kitchen, my workspace. This is where I make all of my food. I do everything. I don't really have anything here that's prepared. Kitchen has, over time, it has really changed a lot, and it's exactly what I like. I'm comfortable here, and it's a good workspace for me. It's not too big, it's not too small. As Goldilocks would say, it's just right. So I thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. It gives you a little bit of a look at to see what life is like when you live in the country and you make your own food, which is so much healthier for us. So I hope that it inspires you also to grow your own and cook for yourself. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely day. I'll see you next time. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Bye. Hey, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.